I'd rather live right.
Mayor,
Standing here, lifting up my eyes.
Mayor,
All of God's children just stand, stand, you stand.
you stand. Mayor, Mayor,
I decided
Mayor,
to take stand,
Mayor,
not knowing I'd lose some of my friends.
Mayor,
But I'd rather live right.
Mayor,
Feeling hell,
Mayor,
lifting up my eyes.
Mayor,
All of God's children just stand, stand, stand. You stand.
you stand. Mayor, Mayor,
All of God's children just stand, stand, stand. Oh, you stand.
you stand. Mayor, Mayor,
Stand for holiness.
for holiness,
Whoa.
for
And
righteousness.
be counted among them that shall reign.
With
You stand.
you stand.
With friends,
Friends are gone. Stand when you're all
and
alone.
believe it.
Believe it shall receive His own.
Oh, stand for holiness.
For holiness,
Oh,
for
and be
righteousness.
counted.
Be counted among them that shall reign with
You stand. With friends,
friends are gone. Stand when you're all
and believe it.
believe it shall receive His own.
Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards a separating line. I'm wading through muddy waters. Now I gotta make up mine. I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna
Praise the Lord, everyone. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I am glad and rejoicing about it. Thank you for joining us for this year's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day of Service. I want to commend you, each of you and your families, for carving out time in your schedules to view today's program. And I want to encourage you and your family to participate in one of the service projects that we have detailed on our website. Prayerfully, you will also join us later this afternoon at the Worship Center between 2 and 4 p.m. as we drop off these projects that will support deserving people in our community, like seniors and homeless and at-risk youth in Maryland detention centers. I believe that it is very important that we always take time to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day in order to recognize the sacrifice that he and so many others made so that people of color and the disadvantaged members of our society would be treated as equals. Many of us are where we are today because of people like Dr. King who paved the way. There are so many today who seek to reverse these gains that were made by Dr. King and that generation. Therefore, it is critical that we study our past, appreciate our future, and continue to forge ahead until we reach a place where we can proudly say that this is indeed one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now let's take a moment to view today's presentation, Martin the Man, and the biblical dimensions of this iconic leader. Thank you again for joining us, and God bless you.
Our country has observed Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a federal holiday since 1986. Since that time, we've honored and commemorated Dr. King, the civil rights activist, the man, and the biblical dimensions behind this amazing leader. Today's presentation will highlight some little-known facts about Dr. King, and we pray that you'll gain a deeper appreciation for this drum major for justice.
Proverbs 22:1 tells us that a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, meaning that one's character and reputation are far more valuable than great wealth. Martin Luther King Jr. is a name that is recognized and respected around the world. However, did you know that Dr. King's birth name was Michael and not Martin? He was born on January 15, 1929, as Michael King Jr. However, at the age of 5, his father, a pastor in Atlanta, traveled to Germany and became inspired by the theologian Martin Luther, who was instrumental in birthing the Reformation, which eventually gave rise to Protestantism.
As a result, Michael Sr. not only changed his name, but he also changed the name of his 5-year-old son, who we all know today as Martin Luther King Jr. At the age of 12, it is reported that after the sudden death of his grandmother, Janine, Martin was so distraught that when he learned of her sudden passing due to a heart attack, he jumped out of their second-story window. However, despite the dark period of his childhood, his suicide attempt did not halt the call of God on his life.
As a gifted student, he eventually skipped the 9th and the 12th grades and enrolled at Morehouse College in 1944 at the age of 15, just 3 short years after his attempt to end his life.
Isaiah 61:3 prophetically proclaims that the Spirit of the Lord consoles those who mourn in Zion and gives beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, and the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. This should be a reminder to us all that we should never attempt to make permanent decisions as a result of temporary emotions.
Martin eventually received his bachelor's degree, a divinity degree from Pennsylvania's Crozier Theological Seminary, and a PhD from Boston University at the age of 26 years old. In 1956, Martin's home and several churches in Montgomery, Alabama, were bombed by segregationists. During this period of time, King applied for a gun permit as a means of protecting his family. However, he eventually decided to fully embrace his commitment to nonviolent resistance.
In 1958, he narrowly survived an assassination attempt in a department store while signing autographs. A woman stabbed him in the chest with a 7-inch letter opener, nearly missing his aorta. Doctors reported that one sneeze could have ultimately killed him. King underwent hours of emergency surgery and was in the hospital for weeks. From his hospital bed, he issued a statement affirming his non-violent stance. He stated that he felt no ill will toward his mentally ill attacker. His actions embodied what Jesus stated in Matthew 5:44, when he said that we are to love our enemies, bless those who curse us, do good to those who hate us, and pray for those who spitefully use and persecute us.
Despite the persecution and hardships that Martin and his family endured as a result of his stance on equality and justice, King held fast to his convictions, so much so that he was arrested and jailed 29 times for nonviolent protests and other made-up charges. Matthew 5:10 reminds us that blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
King believed deeply that everyone, including black and brown people, should have the right to vote. 6 years before his iconic I Have a Dream speech, King was one of the keynote speakers at the Prayer Pilgrimage for Freedom, a gathering of about 25,000 demonstrators in front of the Lincoln Memorial. This was his first national address on the topic of voting rights. His speech was entitled, "Give Us the Ballot." In it, he identified restoration and enforcement of voting rights for blacks as an important part of the civil rights struggle. His speech ultimately garnered him public attention and placed him in the national spotlight as a major leader for the civil rights movement.
Today, the struggle for voting rights continues as 17 states have passed approximately 28 laws, making it harder for minority constituents to vote. As a result, lawmakers in Congress have been advocating for at least 2 different voting rights measures that would restore the federal government's enforcement powers at the ballot box to prevent voter suppression. Beyond his first speech at the Lincoln Memorial, King's perseverance and leadership brought him notoriety and acclaim.
At the age of 35, in 1965, he became the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner. The year prior, King also became the first African-American Man of the Year for Time magazine. Since that time, the only other African-American man to receive this designation was President Barack Obama in 2008. Proverbs 18:16 reminds us that a man's gift will make room for him, and that was certainly the case for Dr. King.
Towards the end of his life, at the age of 39, Dr. King prophetically foretold of his death in a speech in support of a sanitation worker strike. On the night before his assassination, he told the audience, "Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. And I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord."
In less than 40 years, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the activist, the preacher, the peacemaker, and the civil rights leader, accomplished so much to change the trajectory of African Americans and the disenfranchised in the United States. Only George Washington and Abraham Lincoln were the only other Americans to have had their birthdays observed as a national holiday.
Truly, Dr. King received the promise mentioned in Genesis 12:2-3, which states, "I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you. And in you, all the families of the earth shall be blessed."
Wow, wasn't that a phenomenal presentation?
Amazing.
That was absolutely amazing. I got so much out of it, and I hope everyone else got something out of it as well. Hi, everyone. I'm Reverend Cynthia Terry. I'm president of the Christian Business Ministry in the Education and Training Department at the First Baptist Church of Glenarden. The Education and Training Department hosts the MLK Day program every year, but I am not here alone. I am here with...
I'm Tristan Irvin from the Unashamed Ministry and the BU Ministry. And remember to share this with your family, your friends, everybody on your timeline, because we want everyone to know this.
And let us know where you're from. Drop in the chat. Where are you viewing from? We would love to hear from you. We also wanted you to know that that presentation was so phenomenal. Drop in the chat, what was your greatest takeaway?
Yes.
Because I'll tell you what one of my takeaways was. I didn't know his name was originally Michael. Michael. Maybe I should have known that, but I didn't know his name was Michael, and then it was changed to Martin Luther.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the things.
That would have been another Michael added to our greats.
That's
Jordan,
right.
Jackson,
That's right.
But now we got Martin.
Absolutely. What was the takeaway for you?
My takeaway was that at a young age, he almost committed suicide, and he had jumped out of his two-story house because of the death of his grandmother. And I can relate to him because when I was younger, I had lost my father, and I was having suicidal thoughts, and I was thinking about killing myself. But it said in there that the devil would try to use what's bad against you, but God would turn it around for your good. And we are happy. The whole country is happy that God turned it around for Martin's good.
Wow. You know, I'm really, really happy that you brought that up. I wanted to let you know that our church also has a mental health support ministry, because we need to know the signs and symptoms of people who may be going through, even though they're not saying anything. So thank you so much for bringing that up for our youth, but even for older people as well, as they're going through some of these tumultuous times. So did you have another point?
The Michael thing, that really got
that
caught my eye.
That really did.
But also how he did everything that he did at such a young age.
Especially the fact that he was the youngest to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. He was the first African American to receive it, but he was also the youngest.
Yes.
I hope you're dropping in the chat what really stuck out for you during that presentation, because that presentation was outstanding. We also wanted to remind you that this is also a day of service. There are so many service projects that you can do. They're listed on our website, fbcglenarden.org/MLK2022. But is there a project that particularly sticks out for you?
I would say sending a letter to the troops, because my family, we have a lot of people that have been to the Army, that's in the Army, and I would like to send a letter out to a troop. And also, this is a day of service, but remember that throughout the whole year, you can still get in touch with your community and your family and your friends, because we want to focus on this day for Martin Luther King Jr., but we also want to continue out the legacy that he put here. Like for me and my family, we like to go to the community home, the senior citizens home, and give them a church service, because some of them are not allowed to go to church or leave the seniors home. So just remember, this is a day of service, but also be a year of service.
That's wonderful. That is so wonderful. I particularly like preparing the bags for people who are homeless. And in these bags, you take a gallon bag, you can put toothpaste in it, or just a number of miniature things that you like, soap, just things that we take for granted every day, but it's something special for them. So I particularly like making those bags and then taking them to a nearby shelter. And that's good because no matter where you are in the world, because we know that we are international, you can still participate in these projects and take those those projects to any number of places in your community or even a church in your community. So we want you to keep that in mind. We also want to let our members know who are locally that we will be collecting the projects, the Day of Service projects at the Worship Center located at 600 Watkins Park Drive in Upper Marlboro, Maryland from 2 to 4 p.m. That's at the Worship Center from 2 to 4 p.m. And thank all of you for participating, for viewing today and the presentation, and participating in the Day of Service. So, Tristan, do you have any last words?
All I like to say is thank Martin Luther King Jr. for everything he has done for this country, for the service he has done, and make sure that you reach out to the website and make sure that you can do a service. And if not on the website, just doing that out of the kindness of your heart for somebody.
I love him. Praise God. We want to thank you all for viewing. Thank you for taking the time out to being with us, but also participating in our Day of Service. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
People who are called them say